Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? In this video, I'm going to be overviewing the best strategy for generating final expense life insurance leads on Facebook in 2024 and beyond. Now, if we haven't met yet, my name is Tim Shooker. I run the Life Insurance Sales channel where we post free content to help insurance agents like yourself make six figures over the phone working from home. I also co-own a company called Advanced Agent Marketing, where we basically help insurance agents generate their own leads and get pre-booked appointments on their calendar to help them make six figures working from home. Now, I have spent collectively over multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook, and also coached and trained hundreds of agents on how to generate their own leads. And basically, what used to work in previous years has actually changed pretty recently. So this is kind of like the new updated strategy that I'm seeing works the best, right? Now, before I get into it, let me kind of just briefly give you guys a little bit of context as far as like what people used to do and what usually worked. Because this is like when people think of Facebook, they usually kind of lean towards this idea or model, so to speak. So what basically you used to have to do is you would go out and it was all about targeting, right? Facebook used to be all about targeting. So you would go out and you'd find these like little interests on Facebook. We used to do all this, it was called interest-based targeting. So you would target an interest like parents, or for example, right? Or family, or Walmart. But what has happened over time, and especially over the last year or so, is Facebook's algorithm has gotten really, really good to where you don't need to do that anymore, right? Facebook actually knows who your customers are, and is able to very easily find them without you having to tell it who to target, right? So what that leaves us with now is most of your time, right, should actually be spent on the actual ad creative itself, the video or the image that people will see on Facebook. That's where we now spend about 90% of our time as an agency, and with helping agents generate their own leads, is all on the ad creative. The targeting, I don't really care about that stuff anymore, because what really moves the needle is having good ads and good creative, right? So that's kind of like the key fundamental shift that has happened, is away from like targeting and interest based and all that stuff, and now it's all about the creative, the ad itself, right? So I'm going to kind of overview the strategy that we use to make good ads so that you guys can see the same success for yourself. We've generated over 6,000 high intent final expense leads for under $7 each, and help tons of our clients do the same thing. So basically, the way that this works is it all starts with a person, right? With any marketing or any sales, it all, like everything revolves around the customer, right? Like the customer is the sun, they're the center of the universe. And so if we want to figure out how to make an ad to target these people, well, first we got to figure out who the damn customer is. So this is something that I recommend you do if you're taking this seriously, is take like a day and just kind of write out who your customer is, right? Give them a name. What's their name? What is their age? Are they a man or a woman, right? And this could depend on what product you're selling. If you're selling term, maybe it's different. Obviously, it would be different than if you're selling final expense. But just figure out who your ideal customer is. What is their age? What occupation did they have or do they have? How many kids do they have? How many grandkids do they have? Do they have pets? Do they have dogs? This may seem like it doesn't matter, but it actually does. You guys will see how this all kind of connects. And really just taking that avatar, right? What are their dreams, hopes, fears, pain points, all of these different things, what keeps them up at night. And we're going to take this sheet, which you're going to create, right? Answering all these different questions, and everything in our targeting, all of our ads are going to be based upon what would appeal to this person. It sounds so simple, but just doing this puts you ahead of like 95% of people, because nobody actually takes the time to do it. So once you have that ideal customer, now you know who we need to sell to and who we need to generate leads, like who our ad is actually targeting when we throw it on Facebook. So once you do that, you then want to basically craft the entire message of the ad to either give them their hope, dream, or desire, or alleviate their pain or fear, right? So for example, let's say our target customer was like a grandmother who has dogs, and she has, 3 kids and a bunch of grandkids, and she's, religious, and she cares a lot about her children, and she has to do a burial, right? There's no way in hell that she's doing a cremation, because it's not who she is. It's against her religion, right? So that person, I'm going to target and make an ad for them that talks about, don't be a burden on your kids, leaving money behind, right? Making sure that you're not giving them debt, like all of these different things that I would basically craft the message around how I would talk to the specific person, right? Whereas if I'm targeting, let's say a veteran, a guy who's, in his 60s, he served in Vietnam, and maybe he has a few kids and he cares a lot about them, I'm going to target him with a different ad and a different message than I'm going to target the grandma, right? Because they're different people. So you always want to start with the person fundamentally and then craft the ad based off of that, right? So if I'm targeting a male or I'm targeting veterans, I'm going to use things more like leaving a legacy, your duty, your responsibility, those kind of things. That's the language I'm going to use in the ad copy and then the actual ad itself, right? And if I'm doing a video ad, I'm more likely to have a guy in the ad that's targeting guys, and I'm going to have a lady in the ad that's targeting ladies. I'm going to have the person in the ad, I want them to look like my ideal avatar, right? If I have a veteran, like a guy who looks like he served in the military, in an ad targeting veterans, talking about covering their burial, covering their funeral expenses, that is going to perform very well. If I have a older female who looks like, the grandma that wants to protect her grandkids in the ad, targeting grandmas who want to protect their grandkids, it's going to do really well. And so the key with all of this is you have to target a pain point, right? So I'll take the grandma example here. So that lady has a very big fear of being a burden on her kids. Like that fundamentally is her biggest fear, is she doesn't want to be a burden on her kids, right? So I'm going to craft all of my messaging, I'm going to craft all of my ads around not being a burden, right? And I'm also going to create multiple different angles from that pain point, right? So I could have don't leave your kids with debt, could be an angle, right? Don't be a burden could be an angle. Cover your funeral expenses could be an angle. Avoiding the GoFundMe. These are like 4 different angles from this one pain point, right? And an angle is basically just like a different way of presenting the problem, for example. And so that's essentially what we do internally as a team, is we take these people, these avatars, we figure out what are their pain points, and then we craft angles around their pain points or their hopes or their desires and different things like that. And that's essentially how we build our ads, whether it's a photo or a video or whatever it is, right? So that in 2024, focusing on the creative, focusing on the customer, the person that you're actually targeting, that is the way to generate low cost, high intent leads, as opposed to just, you get some random picture of a casket and then your targeting is super on point. That's not what works anymore. It's all about the person and all about the actual ad creative. So that is going to wrap up our video here. If you guys got value from this, leave a like, subscribe button for more content like this. And if you guys want us to do this whole process for you, set up the ads, run the ads for you, work on all the creative, do everything like that, click the link down below to apply for our program, where we literally set all of the Facebook ad stuff up for you, do all of it, run all the ads, all of that stuff, so that you can just focus on sales. Link down below in the description. That being said, I will see you guys soon. Take care.